When the people move into this house, it's going to be their home for a long time, and they expect to live here comfortably. It's going to be your job to insulate this house, to help keep it cooler in summer and warmer in winter, to help prevent drafts, to help keep moisture out, to make it more soundproof, to do a good job, one that you can be proud of. This is the first segment of a series of training videos from CertainTeed on the right way to install insulation. This first part is an introduction. We'll give you some background on insulation and some of the basic facts you need to understand what you'll be doing when you get out on a job site. Your job's important. A properly insulated house saves energy and costs less to heat and cool. The work you do can add value to people's homes, and the use of insulation helps protect the environment. It'll be your responsibility to be sure that when you finish a job, you've left a well-insulated house, and that you've done a job that you and your employer can be proud of. We'll show you just what a good job is as you view this series of videos. Let's take a look at fiberglass insulation, the type of insulation you'll be installing. Fiberglass is the most widely used type of insulation. There are others, materials like rock wool, cellulose, foam, but fiberglass is by far the most widely used. That's because it does such a good job. Fiberglass is permanent. It won't settle or deteriorate with age. It's easy to install. It's non-combustible. It's relatively low cost. And when it comes to product quality, CertainTeed fiberglass insulation is one you can count on. It's regularly tested for product performance by the National Association of Home Builders Research Center, and most of our products carry this label of assurance. CertainTeed is one of the largest manufacturers of fiberglass insulation in the country, and we constantly strive to provide the best. How does insulation work? It's pretty simple, really. The strands of fiberglass form millions of tiny air pockets. These pockets trap air and resist the flow of heat. In winter, insulation retards the flow of heat from inside a home escaping to the colder outside, so the house stays warmer. In summer, just the opposite takes place, and with insulation, heat from the outside can't come through the walls and attic very easily, and the house stays cooler. This resistance to heat flow is called R value. The higher the R value, the more resistance to heat flow. For example, fiberglass insulation rated R19 provides more insulating power than insulation rated R13. When it comes to fiberglass bats, generally, the thicker the insulation, the higher the R value. For example, the insulation on the left is 6 1/4 inches thick and is R19. The bat next to it is 3 1/2 inches thick and is R13. Other insulation materials have different R values and thickness. However, there are times when fiberglass products with the same thickness can have different R values. For example, these three products are all 3 1/2 inches thick, but they vary in density, and so they vary in R value. This is R11, R13, and the one with the greatest density is R15. Okay, now, one more benefit of insulation is that it's excellent for controlling noise. What insulation does for heat and cold, it also does for noise. Helps block outside noise, keeping the house quieter. And at the same time, helps keep noise inside the house from traveling from room to room. CertainTeed fiberglass insulation comes in bats and rolls. Bats are pre-cut pieces of insulation, usually 48 inches long or 93 inches long. Rolls are longer pieces, say 39 feet, which have to be cut to size to use. Most of the time you'll work with bats. Because they're pre-cut to size, they're generally easier to handle and faster to install. There's one more type of fiberglass insulation. This is loose fill or blown-in insulation. We'll talk about Insulate blown-in insulation later in another tape. The most common widths of CertainTeed fiberglass insulation are 15 inches and 23 inches to fit standard spaces between wood joists and studs in most homes. Other widths are available for other applications. And finally, Insulation comes unfaced, craft-faced, or foil-faced. You'll be told which type of insulation you'll be installing on each house that you insulate. Craft-faced and foil-faced insulation have a vapor retarder attached to one side. That's the craft or foil.